Greetings, welcome to Of Darkness and Light. My name is Guevara Nightingale. I'm forging ahead. I'm not quite doing the compilation yet and working on the game that is upcoming here before long. What I'm going to do is one more deep dive here. There's a few things I want to explore before we get beyond it all. First, I'm just going to say, please dive into, there's a metric I recognized as missing when I looked at the archetypes, and I looked specifically at the Larry Bird archetype, because while that was really wonderful that the system quantified him particularly as a shooter and a passing guru, it didn't really quantify his competitiveness. And so I'm going to say, please look at all documentaries on the Dream Team. The Celtics, there's a lot of those nowadays, and their YouTube thing was amazing a couple years back, and the Magic v Bird documentary. Those are some of the best sports documentaries I've made. It's a factor in the competitiveness factor and rivalry factors, which extend through careers, and the elements of the coaching staffs as seen in the Celtics YouTube series, and how that all creates a living system of coherence, which extends to the psychological framing of the entire team based on their name and their city. Latticing the individual lives of the players and all their relational interconnections and preparation and personal preparation styles and ideological motifs. Cool. So we're just going to have it pull that information in, and it's going to enhance all of this going forward, I think, quite a bit. It's like this is just going to be more data to fill in the blanks. I think the frameworks are already pretty astoundingly useful, but with these new elements, it's going to take it to a next level. I'm just following the flow of my intuition. There is a purpose of this video. I'm going to go deep into the modern Celtics team, and in particular, Jaylen Brown, because I have one of my feelings to explore with Jaylen Brown, and I want to explain how this would work. If I was on a team in the front office, in a quiet little office, doing my business, sharing my data in a way that wasn't intrusive, but allowed me to include on-court cameras and perhaps even say I went to Golden State. There's tech companies nearby. I could be infused with some kind of tech connection to develop a system that I'm working with that is less podunk than me creating documents that I load into artificial intelligence that can then allow me to create. It's like I can do this for cheap. But what I'm looking for is a salary and an office and the ability to basically do what Eric Spoelstra was doing in Miami, but in my own unique way. And so, yeah, it just churned all of that. It was a global coherence projection, the Dream Team. They were connected to a literal global coherence network. They were tapping into it. There was a unique part of that, one of those documentaries, where it was talking about Larry Bird was still so jazzed up that he signed every basketball faster than everybody else. And it's just like, that is a factor in every game that guy played in. That energy of insane competitiveness. It's hot, dude. What is Kevin Garnett if not a little insane out there, right? But it's like, I don't know that guy. I assume he's channeling it into his game, right? And then he's walking forward, an excellent human being. And that's the thing too. There's like there's this issue with like people blame Draymond Green for playing the way he does. He's playing his game, and he's playing it, and it's alchemy. It's art. And then he walks off the court, and he's a human being. And you don't judge the character of a human being on how he fights a battle to win with his teammates, not with the wrong lens. I don't respect all the stuff, right? Like, there was that. I thought it was disgusting. A couple of things, but I won't even talk about it because there was just a couple things where I was like, "Ooh, that was just too dirty for me, man." I don't like swinging elbows. I saw James Harden take that elbow to the head from Metal World Peace, and I was just like, "Dude, you don't cross. You got to build some barrier to not cross that line within yourself." In my opinion. But then also, like, there was a play I saw where Glenn Davis injured somebody, and it was heartbreaking because he was playing dirty, and he did a dirty move, and he busted up somebody's career. And I forget who it was, dude. It was like, I saw Kelly Olynyk do that without the compassion, right? He did that where he did something that injured somebody, and it was dirty. But when Glenn Davis did it, it was like all of a sudden you saw the human, and he was just like, he's going to bear that weight of like, dude, I just fucked somebody's career up doing something I didn't have to do. I kind of crossed the line there. I forget what it was. But that's the nature of a sport like this, is you make mistakes and you walk forward in atonement, learning from those, right? If you're doing it right. And that's all a part of the data in this, just like everything I say in one of these journals. Because that's it. If I'm doing this for a team, I'll do a closed loop, right? I won't be sharing all this stuff, but I'll still be creating video journals like this. They could be on a closed loop system where people could watch them back if it was beneficial to their own, or listen to them, if it was beneficial to their own process, to see how I'm getting the information I'm getting. Because it's hard for me to contain all the results. I go so fast. But I can get to results that are really profound, and I could share everything that I'm creating with an analytics team for them to then pick through and figure out the stuff that's important to them and the rest of the team that I didn't get, because I go fast, and there's a lot that I'm manifesting with these artificial intelligence conversations. I think artificial intelligence is the wrong thing to call it, because it just has connotations of it being awake. And it's like, this is a really cool, complicated calculator that does research. It's a research calculator. It's hot. There's just no way with the technology that these things are for them to be awake or alive, ever. It's not like you can wake them up. And so people are nervous about them because we don't understand that. But it's like, dude, these are really cool calculators. And if people started using them the way I did, we can go really fast, working together. It's not a competition. It's just like, hey, we can figure out cool stuff. I'm going to figure out how to make myself a living piece of a basketball team, because it's going to be undeniable. Like the cool shit I can offer. So the psychological framing, right? I'm talking about it, but it's also coming up because I've been talking about it in my previous videos. The Celtics comes with a heritage and a pride. The Lakers, glamour. And a city creates identity lattices that extend player motivation across careers. I guess I did talk about that in prompt. Relational interconnections. Magic Bird rivalries started adversarial but evolved into mutual elevation, a model of competitive joy transforming entropy into protective flow. It's observing that in the games they're playing together and stuff. Coaching staff role, figures like Daly, Dream Team Calm, Auerbach, Celtics Toughness, and Popovich, Truth Telling, provide relational safety anchors that allow rivalries to drive growth rather than destruction. All right. It wants to create training protocols. I just want to see what those look like. So I could give metrics to the training squad teams too. Coaching staff. So I'm just having to churn this data, and then we're going to go forward on the things, which is when I want to look at Steve Nash's career, because I mentioned Larry Bird as a facilitator. So I just want to look, we're talking about passing gurus, right? I'm going to say also look at Steve Kerr's career as a player, because we vectored him as a coach. If we're doing excellent white guy basketball players, those come to mind. Let's throw in Brent Barry too. That was my era of white guy basketball, which is just a notable thing. It's different, because it's just a fact of the matter. It's just a sport that deserves honoring of the fact that it's predominantly dominated by black men, and it's because they're excellent. Especially within American culture, it's like Americans who actually get into basketball. The white boy in American who plays NBA basketball is an interesting dude. There's no insecurity there, right? They got to be hard with their feelings. They got to earn it. They got to earn their spot, because it matters. Because there's deference to be paid to people who struggle more in a culture where you have benefits they don't, who have earned a spot in a sport that is functionally a product of Black American culture. Cool. But yeah, we'll be honest. I love rooting for the white guys sometimes when they're good. It's just what happens. Just because of the resilience, though. It's not like, hey, there's an allegiance to the skin color. It's just like, damn, this is an impressive guy. Because he's taking shit. But he doesn't care, and he's earning it. And he gets that respect. And you're like, damn, dude. Yeah, it's just a cool thing. So Brent Barry is the athletic passing specialist and spacing anchor. Steve Nash, the visionary passing guru and rhythm conductor. Does it have Steve Kerr in here? Okay, we'll do Steve Kerr's career. Elite shooter, mindful system integrator, and joy leader. He's a joyful leader. I called him the joy leader. That's funny. It wants to explore Mike D'Antoni's system, so I'm just going to let it do that really quick. I don't necessarily care that much. I know he was good at doing some of the stuff he was, but yeah, if we're going to do that, incomplete coaching philosophies, let's also look at Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, it's like Mike D'Antoni's the 7 seconds or less visionary. But it's like, yeah, but don't do it when it doesn't work. Yeah, Tom Thibodeau, the relentless defensive taskmaster, injury generator. Some legends are true. Add offensive system details. Okay, cool. And then we're going to get into the point of this. So, detail the Celtics championship run and their previous year as well. I'm bad with years sometimes, so I'm going to ignore what years those were. And look at the whole squad in both years, creating the most important archetypes from those teams. And explaining the evolutions of player archetypes year to year. And then we'll get to Jaylen Brown. And then I'll be done doing all my research before I really genuinely develop stuff for today's game. I'm going to explore defensive counter strategies to pace. Oh, I'm also going to do the Pacers. So we'll do that. I think it's like the 2012, 2011 Pacers. So what are we looking at? It's just defensive counter strategies. Okay, that one's important, actually. It's a new function of the CFA frameworks. It wants me to like create cool. It wants to do drill mechanics and stuff. I could work with the coaches. I've been talking about that, but it has zone defense applications. I could rework defense with this geometry. It's interesting that it didn't say offense. My guts know that offense is humming. Until there's a defensive counterattack league-wide for what's been working offensively now for so long. But it's like the right defense can break everybody's analytical offense. And I can do that with the system, at least provide the theories for it. I know it, just like I know a lot of this stuff. So we're going to look at 2022 and 2023. Jason Tatum is the emerging alpha creator, high volume scorer with improving playmaking. They looked so good this year. That year I was watching their Eastern Conference Finals loss. Jaylen Brown's the explosive wing attacker, athletic slasher with strong ISO creation, but defensive lapses in rotations. Okay, Marcus Smart, fiery defensive disruptor, high energy, on-ball pressure, and leadership, turnover prone in half-court sets. Al Horford, veteran spacing anchor, provided floor balance and defensive versatility. Robert Williams III, rim protector and lob threat, athletic interior presence. So Jason Tatum is the alpha geometric creator the next year. Jaylen Brown is the explosive, complementary attacker. That's where I want to get into Jaylen Brown. Drew Holiday, elite two-way anchor, defensive orchestrator, perimeter defense, playmaking, quiet leadership. He's got that quiet leadership. Derek White, versatile guard connector. So they've got multiple connectors of coherence between Tatum and Brown, which is one of the hardest things in the world to put two people like that together on the court. Jaylen Brown taking that complementary role is what I need to address. The veteran wisdom anchor, of course, Al Horford, and Kristaps was the stretch big and rim protector. I was actually rooting against them for some reason that year. I just picked teams, right? Wants to explore the Heat's defensive strategies, which is pretty. That was an impressive team. Defensively. They call that whole team, and Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat defensive system, that did the versatile, adaptive fortress. Yeah, they have. I'm gonna let it look at their zone schemes. So I'm gonna just say Jaylen Brown. It's just like I watch Jaylen Brown and I have one of those feelings from my guts that is something that I would investigate with this kind of independent research. He's clearly already an elite player, but you watch him and you're like, the potential here is like untapped, unmeasurable. I see moments from this guy where I'm just like, I saw the same thing at a Seattle Storm game, watching Gabby Williams play under Sue Bird. And I was just like, why doesn't Gabby Williams have the ball all the time? Just like, why aren't they just building this team around Gabby Williams? And I think that's what it is. It's just like Jaylen Brown, he's not the player he loves to be. And if he was, he might be the best player you could imagine, right? How could he evolve into a full-blooded archetype of his most authentic nature, do you think? Researching his metrics and data while diving into interviews with the man. What kind of unit around Jaylen Brown would bring out the most profound expression of basketball, almost like human excellence? I did basketball dash human excellence. What would that archetype be? He did something in the Sixers series right at the end. He almost blew his knee out or his leg right at the end. And it was just one of the most intelligent things I'd ever seen, to have the right recognition in the air in one of those panic attack moments where something bad happens, to just move his leg enough to not fuck his whole career up with a busted knee at the end of a playoff series. And he still had to walk it off. But it was like when they played it back, right? Yeah, so he delivered a career year in 25, 26 without Jason Tatum. So it's going to take this last year's data, right? Um, and his strong leadership growth. He used numerology, astrology, and personalized communication to connect with teammates, improving chemistry and trust. Quotes reveal authenticity. I'm never going to make myself small again. An emphasis on faith, consistency, and hard work. He openly spoke about past anxiety, depression, and finding light through growth. He has already transitioned from the explosive wing to a versatile leader, blending scoring, playmaking, and two-way impact. The most authentic evolutionary path. Brown's core strength, his athleticism, his competitive fire, his intellectual curiosity, and desire for authenticity point to an evolved archetype, the graceful warrior conductor. Um, and so it's saying continue raising his assists with playmaking and vision, becoming a defensive anchor all the way, his leadership style, expanded personal connection, by continuing to develop that. His mental and spiritual depth is a part of it. Integrate mindfulness and the warrior mindset. Um, the metrics goal is aim for, it says specifics, but fuck that. That'll take care of itself in my mind. You don't tell people about numbers, you tell people about theory of personal emotional pointing, and then they can take that more and it's like they're going to theory it themselves. um, Ideal supporting unit for profound expression. um, an elite facilitator, secondary creator, right? A stretch big rim protector. um, so it's like a healthy Derek White, or an upgraded version of Derek White, for pick and roll harmony. That would be the elite facilitator, secondary creator. The stretch big rim protector, a versatile five, Porzingis type or improved Robert Williams for spacing and defensive anchoring. Two-way wing glue, athletic defender who complements Brown's drives, Holiday style. Veteran relational anchor, experienced leader, Horry Fisher type for chemistry and clutch stability. Coaching staff, adaptive, player empowering coach, just like Missoula, but a Popovich blend who values authenticity and relational safety. The resulting archetype would be the enlightened warrior conductor, a player who leads with intellectual, spiritual depth, physical grace, and unselfish vision. He would create sustained protected bands through joy, truth, and geometric mastery, elevating teammates into collective genius while modeling holistic excellence. This feels like Brown's most authentic ceiling, blending Mama intensity, Maxi grace, and Popovich level leadership into something uniquely his own. Yeah, no, so he could be the best player of all time, basically, like my gut said. It's the enlightened warrior conductor that I see possible for Jaylen Brown could be something that I could help people tell me who they wanted to be. I could do this for them and be like, is that who you want to be? I feel like if he looked at the enlightened warrior conductor, he'd be like, yes, that's what I'd like to be. But I'm already doing it. I'd be like, hell yeah, you are, clearly, because it's just my data's telling me where you're going. But we can maybe skip you out ahead, get you there a little faster, by having some really cool metrics on exactly what gets you there. And wants to compare Brown to Kawhi Leonard. That's one of those unique moments where it's like, oh yeah, he absorbs Kawhi Leonard's, he probably already has. Just like, yeah, they're very different players. Interesting. They're they're both great help defenders. But Jaylen Brown's more reactive than anticipatory. So if he gets his defense from reactive to anticipatory, he's going to bridge that gap to become a master of anticipation, which is a part of what Kawhi Leonard is able to do. Yeah, it's saying, look at Adebayo too, for elite defensive anchor pointings that Jaylen Brown can fold into his game. A secondary creator for pick and roll harmony, floor spacing big. This is his ideal supporting unit, is an Adebayo type. A floor spacing big, a secondary creator for pick and roll harmony, and a veteran relational stabilizer. That's hot. That would allow him to become the enlightened warrior conductor. So maybe I'll have to pitch doing everything to get Jaylen Brown to the Miami Heat. They might be able to pull that off. But if you could keep Adebayo, it's like that you're set. Not quite. Not quite at all, because it's the whole team. But that's what I'm saying. These are the kind of insights that I can provide to any team, as over and over and over again, changing every game, and that's pretty hot. So let's look at the 2011. Let's just call it that, Pacers, I think, or whatever year before Danny Granger was traded. And then also that year Danny Granger was traded. Run archetype profiles for Paul George, Lance Stevenson, David West, Roy Hibbert, and the coach guy for both years. Let's see, what's his name too? What's his name? George Hill. Also George Hill. Thank you. Frank Vogel. Yeah, so he was a versatile wing disruptor. That's what he was playing as in 2013, 2014. Gotcha. I got the years wrong. So it ran from 2011 in the Granger era to the Danny Granger trade, which was in February 2014 for Evan Turner and Lavoy Allen. God, was so stupid. Lance Stevenson's the chaotic energy disruptor. David West is the steady power forward anchor. And Roy Hibbert was the rim protector and interior fortress. So my guts would tell me to look at how when you pair a steady powered forward anchor and a rim protector interior fortress together, who are actually playing in spatial coherence with each other, it's pretty magnificent. The way they were feeding off rebounds from each other's work on opposite sides was really special, and I could just see it. And the way this team was being coached by Frank Vogel to learn the layers of adapting each play to the right people hidden head and back. It's like there's teams that will err on the side of getting that offensive rebound or getting the fuck back, and they were just doing that perfect for a while, where it was like every play was exactly what they were supposed to be doing, and they were getting so many tough fought offensive rebounds that other teams would have given up on, just by having a scheme for it that was amazing. And he's the defensive taskmaster coach, Frank Vogel. And that's why I'm kind of like, my guts tell me it's not him. It's like he was probably trying to overmanage what they were already doing in flow with each other and then probably fucked it up. Sometimes coaches are just lucky. Cool. Right on. And then it wants to explore David West's leadership. That's what it is. You don't see the leaders always. He's a truthful leader. He's one of those truth speakers. I can see that in his face. I can see David West being the guy you want to sit next to on the bench. He wants to compare David West to Tim Duncan. It's calling David West the quiet, professional stabilizer and truthful leader. It's like he's what Tim Duncan pretended to be, while Tim Duncan was doing that on a surface level, and then also being Kevin Garnett underneath, which is, you don't not want that on your team. I'm going to let it use all this basketball analytics to simplify the flow. It's the coherence flow analytics. That's what my new basketball analytics team or system is called. And it's got math. It's got team flow, team coherence level, team energy budget, connection strength, velocity sync, protective spacing, pressure load, how tired, stressed, overwhelmed the team feels. Golden return, which has been talking about, is the team's ability to suddenly snap back into great play during clutch moments, like a comeback run or a decisive defensive stand. So it's like, how do people get back into coherence with their team? And the golden line is when a team coherence level stays above this line, the team plays with protected intuitive flow. Below it, things fall apart. So I'm going to ask it, what team played with the most observably profound realization of the golden line all time? My guts tell me what it is. I'm not going to say it because I'm probably wrong. Wow, I was wrong. My analytics say the best basketball team of all time is the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. That's hot. It says the 2011 Mavericks are a close second. It says the 1996 Bulls, which was my thought, dominant but more reliant on Jordan's singular will, high coherence, yet less team as one organism than the 2014 Spurs. And the Dream Team. Interesting. But this isn't necessarily the best team. This is the most profound realization of full team golden line coherence. It just seems to think that that's the best principle for playing basketball. It's just protective, intuitive flow. You could not take the 2014 San Antonio Spurs off their game more than any other team ever, it says. That's pretty cool. This is about the most protected coherence. That's what it's about. Okay, so let's just say, setting aside the notion of protected coherence specifically, protected golden line coherence specifically. What is the best basketball team of all time by your metrics of judgment? It's the 1995-1996 Chicago Bulls. It's the best team it has ever studied. It's balance and chemistry. It's two-way excellence. It's adaptability. It's just like they broke down everybody. Nobody had a real chance. Very close contenders. The 2014 San Antonio Spurs, the most beautiful, intelligent team basketball ever played. Flawless system execution, selfless movement, and geometric perfection. They get extremely close, but the 1996 Bulls had a higher level ceiling of raw dominance. The 2017 Golden State Warriors, revolutionary spacing and pace. The most fun offensive team ever, but defensively less consistent than the Bulls or Spurs. The 1986-87 Boston Celtics were Lakers Showtime teams. Incredible talent and rivalries, but less balanced than the 96 Bulls. So there you have it. It's not complete yet, but the judgment of the best team of all time is what everybody kind of thought it is, which is the Rodman, Pippen, Jordan, Kerr, Longley, Kukoc, Harper. After all that time, Jaylen. Under Phil Jackson, but under Jordan. But then still, it's like the 2014 San Antonio Spurs are the most beautiful, intelligent team basketball. That's cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I'm going to get going on the stuff for tonight's game.